Good evening, I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
and we'll come to you with our Twilight Talks on faith. Tyler, if you don't mind reading Hebrews 11, 13 through 16.
These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off and were assured of them, embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For those who say such things declare plainly that they seek a homeland. And truly, if they had called to mind that country from which they had come out, they would have had opportunity to return. But now they desire a better, that is, a heavenly country. Therefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them.
All right. As we looked at it on Tuesday, and we had Tyler read the passage from Acts chapter 7 with Stephen's sermon where he was talking about the children of Israel, you remember that it said that in their hearts they turned back to Egypt. And that was their problem. And of course, God gave them up because not only did they turn back because of the food that they wanted to eat, but they turned back because of the gods they had served there. You know, sometimes we forget that the Israelites, they adopted a lot of the Egyptian gods and religion. And so God gave them up, and God was not going to be called their God. Whereas in verse 16 right here, when we set our eye toward the heavenly land and we begin to move by faith in this life, going toward that one, that's one of the reasons why God's not ashamed to be called our God, is because that's where our mind, our heart, our emotion has been, is to go towards that homeland with him. Tyler, you remember what they called the calf, the main calf that Aaron made?
Was it Jehovah or Yahweh, wasn't it?
That's right, it was. And you say, well, brother, they had other sins. No. If you read the Old Testament, even cursorily, okay, God would get agitated with the fornication, with the adultery, with the stealing, with the perversion of justice, with all that stuff. But the breaking point always is when they swap him out for different gods. It's just, no.
Problem is they do it frequently.
Problem is they do it frequently. No, I'm not saying that the other stuff isn't bad. But had Moses come down off the mountain and the people had just been having a wild college frat party, okay, in the desert, or a wild Egyptian frat party, whatever you want to call it, that would have been one thing. But they made an image of a cow that they formerly called Apis, and the gods of Egypt, and they surrounded it with a bunch of littler gods. But then they called it Jehovah. They took God's glory and they gave it to an object. Because in their hearts, they were still back in the land of slavery. And that's our challenge every day, all the time as Christians, is to get out of the land of slavery and to stay out in our hearts and in our deeds. Tyler, do you have anything else on this?
No, sir.
I'm Brian Reagan. This is Tyler Kelly. Lord willing, we'll see you in the morning. And tomorrow morning we'll be in Colossians chapter 4. Until then.